dear students. Welcome to class 9th English. Today we will read the chapter on killing a tree by G. A. Patel. First, I'll give you the introduction of Dr. Patel. G. Patel is a famous Indian poet and playwright. He is also practicing doctor. He was born in Mumbai in 1940. He is a physician and he is also worried about the environment. He was born in Mumbai in 1940 and he completed all his education from Mumbai. His first collection of poetry was entitled Poems and was launched by Nizam Iziki in 1966. He also wrote famous plays like Princess Savaska and Mr. Behram. So let us see what idea he has given in this poem. In this poem, there is a beautiful ironic statement written by the poet about killing a tree. Actually, he means its opposite. He taunts how trees are to be killed, but they must not. He further says that tree is hard to kill with a knife. The tree takes years to grow from the earth. He says that to kill a tree, its roots must be pulled out entirely from the soil. The poem also conveys a message that trees are our lifeline, so they must not be killed. He instructs how a tree is killed. He gives out the message that trees are something pious and like human beings. He conveys that the tree is very deep rooted and cannot be wiped out easily. He indicates and compares it with evil, which also deep rooted in the surroundings and cannot be uprooted so easily without changing the environment. So now let us begin with the poem para-wise and I'll explain you the poem. So now let us begin with the poem. It takes much time to kill a tree, not a simple jab of the knife will do it. Here the jab means to hit something forcefully. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. So here the poet is saying that a simple hit of a knife will not cut the leaf because it has grown, it has come out of the earth after consuming. Consuming means absorbing years of energy from deep inside the earth, the soil, the water, all things you have consumed from the earth. He was feeding upon its crust. Feeding upon its crust means he was taking its food, it was taking its energy from the top layer of the earth. Crust means the top layer of the earth. Absorbing years of sunlight means it was taking the sunlight from many years from the, it was absorbing air, water, and out of its leprous side sprouting leaves. And the leprous sign, leprosy is a skin disease in which the color of the skin is infected. So here the poet is comparing the bark of a trunk of a tree with the skin of a human being. Leprosy is a disease in a human beings. Here the poet is saying the leprous side, the color of its trunk is the patches are it's on its trunk, and out of which new leaves come out. If you cut the tree, then also a new leaves will sprout out from by its side. So here the poet is comparing the bark of a tree with the human being. He is saying if you with a simple jab of a knife, though it is difficult to cut the tree, if then also will cut the tree, then out of its leprous side a sprouting leaves will come out. Now let us see what the poet says in the next stanza. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature bugs which if unchecked will expand again to former size. So here the poet is saying only this will not work. You have simple knife of the jab will not work. You have to cut it down. Hack means cut it down and chop means break into small pieces. But this also alone will not do it. Not much so much pain will do it, means it will not harm the tree so much. The bleeding bark. Bleeding bark means the liquid that comes from the bark, the sap that comes from the bark. Here the poet is comparing this bleeding bark with again the body of the human being. Because the body of the human being bleeds, not the plant bleeds, but the human being bleeds. So here he is comparing the bleeding bark will heal. That if you will cut a trunk with a knife or you will chop it, after a few days it will heal. And from close to the ground and from near the ground, new leaves will come again. And this miniature bugs, this small plant, this if unchecked means if they are not chopped down, not cut down, will expand again. Expand means they will spread again to form a size, to large size. So here the poet is saying that this chopping and cutting will not do, because this bleeding bug, this will heal again quickly, and new miniature bugs will come and they will take a more larger size. If unchecked means unchecked, not cut down, they will grow again. So here if you see the irony of the poet, he is comparing the tree with the human being. Though he is giving the masses to cut down the tree, but actually he don't want so. He want to create a feeling of emotions inside the human being, that the way you bleed, in the same way the trees and the plants also have their life, they also bleed, and it is not good to cut them. Now let us move to the next stanza. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied and pulled out, snapped out or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. So here the poet is saying no, only cutting and will not be sufficient. We have to pull out the root of the tree. The root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means the earth which is holding the roots. We have to pull out. And how can we pull out? First we have to tie a string along the trunk of the tree. And then after tying it tightly, we have to pull it out, snapped out, push it down, or pulled out entirely. Entirely means completely. We have to take out the tree completely out of the earth, out from the earth cave. Cave means deep inside the earth. We have to dig out and we have to take out the roots of the tree from the earth cave, from deep inside the earth. And the strength of the tree exposed. Exposed means open in front of everyone. Then we can see the strength of the tree. Then the power of the tree will be open in front of everyone. What is the power of the tree? The source, the white and wet. What is the source? The roots are the source of the tree. They are white in color, and they are wet. Wet means full of moisture, because they are inside the earth. So here the poet says, then the power of the tree will be exposed in front of everyone. Everyone can see its power. And what is its power? Its power is the root, which is of white and the color, and it is full of moisture, wet. The most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. Here the poet is saying that they are deep inside the earth from many years. They are very sensitive. They are hidden from many years inside the earth. Why they are sensitive? Because they are covered with the mud, with the moisture and the water. And once the tree is uprooted, the roots are out. If they are exposed, the tree will die. So that's why this is the most sensitive part of the tree. So here the poet is saying that we should cut its strength. We should expose its strength in front of everyone. The most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. Let us see now in the next. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. And now the poet finally says, after once the tree is uprooted, then the matter of scorching and choking come. Scorching and choking means the drying up of the trees after being uprooted. And so once the tree is uprooted, so it is kept in the sun and air, and it will dry and choke. Brown, and color will turn into brown, and the skin, the trunk, and the leaves will turn hard. Twisting, they will turn around, and withering, and then it is done. And now finally it is done means finally the tree is out of the earth and it is killed. So here the poet has though he has given the different methods of cutting the tree, but the other hidden meaning is that he actually don't want that human being should cut the tree. They should save the tree because they are the life giver of the earth, and he is the environmentalist also. So he want to save the earth by saving the tree. Now let us move with the literary devices of the poem. Here comes the first rhyming scheme. In this poem there is no rhyming scheme. Entire poem is written in free verse. Next literary device is the personification. Personification means when some non-living are compared with the human beings. Like in the first line, kill a tree. Trees are not killed but they are cut down. Human beings are killed. So this is the use of personification here. Next literary device comes the enjambment. What is enjambment? Enjambment means running lines of poetry from one line to the next without using any kind of punctuation to indicate a stop. This device is very prominent in this poem. As you can see in stanza 1, the use of enjambment is in line number 2. Jab of the knife will do it. You can see there is no punctuation, no comma, no full stop. In the same way, line number 3, you see, it has grown slowly consuming. Means we enter from line number 3 to line number 4 without the use of punctuation mark. And same way you can see in the line number 5, feeding upon its crust. In the same way you see in stanza 2, line number 1, so hack can chop but this alone won't do it. There is no punctuation in line number 1. Same way in line number 4 and 5 you see, the bleeding bark will heal and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs. In both the lines, after heal and after ground, there is no full stop, no comma, there is no punctuation mark. So this is the use of enjambment. Way, now you see the stanza 3 and watch out the 4th line. And pulled out, snapped out or pulled out entirely. After snapped out, there is no comma, no full stop, means there is no punctuation mark. In the same way you see after in the 7th line, and the strength of the tree exposed the source. After exposed, there is no comma, no full stop. So this is the use of enjambment. In the same way in stanza 4, you can see the use of enjambment in line number 1 and 2. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air. After matter is choking, there is no comma, no full stop. So this is the use of enjambment. Next literary device comes the alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound in two or more closely placed words. Such words are called alliteration. You can see in stanza 2, line number 4. The bleeding bark will heal. The word be is repeated twice in continuation. So such words are called alliteration. In the same way you can see stanza number 3, white and wet. In line number 8 you can see the source white and wet. The consonant sound of W is repeated here. Next literary device comes the metaphor. What is metaphor? Metaphor is indirect comparison between two things without using the word like or as. Like in the stanza number 2 you can see the word bleeding bark is used here. Actually the trees don't bleed but the human beings bleed. So here the bark or the trunk of the tree is compared with the human skin. So this is the use of metaphor here. Next literary device comes the repetition. Like in stanza 3 you can see the word pulled out is repeated thrice here. So such repetition is the repetition device. So the word pulled out is repeated thrice in the stanza number 3. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you liked my video. Please like and subscribe my video.